has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Make sure you get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android. It's free. It's got the TV side on it, the radio side on it. It's an incredible app. Like I said, it's free. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High. And it's even got in-game odds. Imagine that. It's the SportsGrid app on iOS and Android. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Did you know we're streaming on X every day, this very minute, in fact, 7 days a week, always. It's SportsGrid-Live to get us on X. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on the Bench podcasts on Apple, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts, Monday through Friday, both shows. Let's take a look at the lineup tonight on SportsGrid TV at 6. It's GTD, Game Time Decisions with the Kevin Walsh. At 8 o'clock, Scott Wetzel and Joe Madden on the original OG in-game live. At 10 o'clock East, it's Sports Rage with Gabe Morency and friends, including the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live. And on SportsGrid Radio, at 8 to 10, it's Carver and Lisi. Watch these two guys go off on the radio for a change. Get them both, SportsGrid TV, SportsGrid Radio. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. As we get to the third and final hour, the coup de grace hour here, it's Vegas again tonight in Cincinnati, beautiful baby, on the Strip at T-Mobile. Against the Wild in Game 2, Vegas won Game 1 4-2.
They certainly did. They'll look to go up 2-0 before they head back to St. Paul. Late night face-off here for the East Coast, at least. 11 o'clock East.
Whoa.
For the Wild and the Knights there. So really what they're trying to do for you is, Sky TV, they're doing you a triple header on the main ESPN. Devils, Hurricanes, Panthers, Lightning, Wild, Vegas. All on one row there. So when they all start going to overtime and they push all those start times back, this game should start around midnight East tonight. Minus 225 I've got this down to now. It's 245 earlier. I got the Wild now plus 190. 5.5 is the total.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, I looked at it like in terms of the bet, and I was like, I like the Wild plus a goal and a half at minus $1.40. I don't think it's the worst price I ever saw in the world. I think everyone thinks that Vegas is just going to blow them out. I do think Vegas is a really tough team, and I think they're capable of making it to the Western Conference Finals and even the Stanley Cup Final if they can, play all their cards right. I think tonight, these teams that are down one, I don't think the Devils can, but I think the Wild are capable of giving Vegas a game because they're desperate. I really do believe that. Desperation tonight. I don't think there's any desperation in the Florida-Tampa game. It's Game 1. I think there's desperation with Ottawa and New Jersey. I don't think New Jersey's capable of it. I think Ottawa is. I still like the Leafs. But I'm going to take a shot with that goal and a half on the puck line. I think they're going to need it. I think Vegas, again, a really tough place to win in that T-Mobile Arena. They play really well there. So they're a tough team to beat in Vegas.
They certainly are. So there you go. 4 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Everybody very excited. Hopefully it's as good as last night. A couple of other things, non-playoff related. We talked at the start of the show already. The Islanders and Lou Lamoriello are no longer 82 years old. Lou finished there, let his contract expire. They didn't fire him. He didn't quit. They let his contract expire.
Just go away. It's over. Honestly, if he ends up with another team, I'm gonna stop watching hockey.
Now, look, could he end up on another team as some advisor, something like that? He will. I don't believe at 82 he'll be a GM again or a president of hockey operations. I find that very hard to believe that he would still be getting those jobs. But something where he's hanging around a team. And if he wants to do that, maybe he doesn't like it.
Honestly, do these people ever stop?
No.
Just stop.
No, they never stop. They never stop at all. Here is Penguins general manager Kyle Dubas. He met the media for his end-of-season media session yesterday. Of course, the Penguins have a lot of work to do to try to build this team back up. Let's hear Kyle Dubas explain a couple of the ways that can happen.
I just think that there are a number of teams in the league that, there's two paths to go down. You can go into the mass tear down, rebuild, and hope you get lucky with the lottery and hope that, all this happens, but you can hope in one hand and in the other and see which one fills up first.
Boy.
Yeah, I literally, I have no idea what he just said.
Dropping cable.
Whatever. Like, listen, the bottom line is that in my view, they have Sid Crosby at 37 next year, and they have nothing else. I think Letang, after his second heart surgery, is shot. I think Malkin looks shot. And meanwhile, they're not getting rid of either one of them. They're going to keep rolling those guys out there. And I think their goaltending is ass. It's complete ass. I mean, stone ground ass mustard is what it is. It is so awful. I mean, I have no idea how this guy thinks he can just put a winner out there. With what? Some draft pick? Like, they're not getting Lemieux or Crosby again. It's not happening. There's no player out there like that. They just got two in a row. Bedard and what's the kid in San Jose?
Celebrini.
Celebrini. They got those are the two best players that have come along in a long time. This kid on Montreal, he's not a draft pick. Like, he's playing already. This kid's already in the league. So I don't see where they're going to get so good so quickly. Like he says, that if there's any team that needs to tear it down and rebuild it, it's the Penguins. Am I tripping here? Like, they really suck. Like, they need to tear it all down. They have a bunch of hacks on that team they need to get rid of. It's awful. They're not. And I'll tell you another thing. I would trade Carlson 25 minutes ago. I mean, honest to Christ, they got this guy, and he did absolutely nothing in Pittsburgh except make a bunch of money. He never did anything, ever. Not one thing ever. His best days were 8 years ago when the Penguins were beating the Sharks in the Stanley Cup Finals. That was when he mattered. He sucks now. Get rid of his stale ass. I mean, don't get me started. Honestly, I just want to get through the show. Can you get me home to the finish line? You start talking about my hockey team like this. You have a happy day, and then you give me this? Like, their misery loves company. They're so awful. I think that guy did a terrible job in Pittsburgh. In fact, I don't like him.
We'll see what he could do. He's got to start turning it around. He'll start turning it around for you. Kyle Dubas. He's a brainiac. He's a whiz kid. He'll be able to get it done eventually. All right. We'll go to the baseball now. I've got a lot of baseball for you. Everybody's playing tonight, by the way. Big Tuesday night. We got some dingers that we have to get involved with as well. Cleveland beat the Yankees 6-4. We did ring the bell. Let's see if we have time to fit in this bell ringer. Jose Ramirez on Yes Network.
A lot of plate coverage.
High drive into right field. Reyes turns, looks, see ya. A 3-run home run for Ramirez. And the Guardians up by 3.
Ring the bell.
I heard my boy Flash doing the game there with Michael Kay.
Flash has the games in Cleveland this series. So Flash doing the game with Kay over the next few days.
Bad luck, apparently.
I will give you bad luck indeed, but at least we hit a ticket there with Jose Ramirez. We will come back and go through the rest of last night, and then everybody plays tonight.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
knows how to celebrate. If you're headed to Vegas for your birthday, plan ahead to get all the birthday freebies the city has to offer. Just by showing your ID, you could get free cash play, scratch cards, drinks, and food at various venues on the Strip. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I'm still optimistic eventually this will happen and they'll get it together. I mean, if Florida can get their act together, Sam, with the tribes, I believe that California can too.
It would bring a lot of money to the tribes, which is also something they really care about. It's an $8 billion market. Conservatively, it could be even more when it legalizes. The sports books would be sharing revenue with the tribes, essentially doing all their operations and forking over a percentage directly to the tribes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
King of the featherweight division for the BKFC. That is King Kai Stewart, who is joining us now, still the champion of the featherweights.
Though he did get dominated, he was still throwing big shots. He landed a lot bigger shots on Palomino than he did me, and I wasn't really impressed. Palomino's getting older. He is definitely a former GOAT. He has done amazing things in this sport, but it's just my time.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, so we're starting to look at tonight's action around the majors. It's heavy. Heavy D.
Let me give you a couple of other things. Max Meyer, 14 strikeouts for the Marlins last night. They beat the Reds 6-3. Tigers beat the Padres 6-4. Mets beat the Phillies 5-4. How about Francisco Lindor? Been on fire. Remember, he had the leadoff homer Sunday. Another leadoff homer last night. In fact, did the double. 2 homers for Lindor on SNY.
Might get the answer. Deep center field. Stevenson back near the wall. It's out of here. Francisco Lindor strikes again. His second of the night. A 3-run homer. 5-0 New York.
Yeah, they held on, and now they have, I think they're tied for the best record in the majors.
They certainly are. 16-7 for the Mets, who will play the Phillies again tonight. Give you the numbers in a moment. The Braves hold on to beat the Cardinals 7-6. They were actually down, went ahead, and then tried to yak it up in the 9th, but they do win it by 1. Bad news for their pitching, though. They just got Spencer Strider back last week after being gone for a year, and now they're already without him again. He made 1 start, and then I guess I think it was either Sunday or yesterday out in the field during a side session, hamstring strain. So Strider goes back on the IL, finished. He'll be out for a couple weeks. Astros beat Toronto 7-0 in Houston. This Hunter Brown has had some start to the year. He's got a 24-inning scoreless streak going, Hunter Brown for the Stros. So look out for him next time he comes through the rotation. And the Giants beat the Brewers 5-2 in the late night hours. The A's tonight are calling up their number 1 prospect. That would be Nick Kurtz. He was their first-round pick back in 2024.
George Kurtz.
He has been mashing the ball in the minor leagues. I mean, mashing this kid. So you put him now with, we love all these guys on the A's. Rooker, Soderstrom, Butler, all this. So now you throw this kid. Hopefully he starts hitting a bunch of taters also.
The young blue liner.
The young blue liner, Nick Kurtz, their first-round pick. Fernando Tatis Jr. and Dylan Moore were the players of the week in Major League Baseball. More from the Mariners, of course. Our weekly look at MLB power rankings according to people who think they know. Here we go. According to people who think they know, the Dodgers still at the top. Padres, Mets, Cubs, Phillies, Yankees, Giants, Tigers, Diamondbacks, Rangers. The power rankings this week according to people who think they know.
People who think they know. Yeah, it's very exciting. I can't get enough of it. Like a weekly look at who's the best in baseball. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Look at the records and see who's winning and see who's in first, and there you go.
There you go, indeed. All right, everybody is playing tonight. We'll start again, top of the hour, 6 o'clock East in Cleveland. They do those early weeknight starts there. For the Yankees and the Guardians, it will be Will Warren tonight against Tanner Bybee. Minus 115 for the Guards, minus 105 for the Yankees, and an 8.5.
I'll take a stab with the Bombers tonight at Progressive.
Stab with the Bombers tonight. Why not? And Bybee has allowed 7 homers in 20 innings already this year. So he has been giving up the long ball. So be careful for him. I think it's about time for Judge. He doesn't make the card for me because he's under 300, but if you want to throw him in a little fun parlay tonight, why not? Get Judge involved at his price. He'll probably smash this guy. The Reds are in Miami. Of course, they got mowed down by Meyer last night. Tonight they'll see Edward Cabrera. Nick Martinez goes for Cincinnati. They are the road favorites. Minus $1.20, even money for the Fish, and an 8.5.
Martinez gets raked every time he pitches. I'll take the Marlins again.
He sure does. Marlins tonight. The Padres still in Detroit against the Tigers. Nick Pivetta and Jack Flaherty. Minus 135 for Detroit, plus $1.15 for the Friars, and a 7.5.
I mean, they really need this from Pivetta tonight. They're kind of stumbling all of a sudden. I'll take Pivetta and a shot with the Padres at that price, plus money.
Orioles and the Nationals down in the Baltimore, D.C. area this evening. They will be at Nationals Park. The Dean Kramer going for the O's. Mitchell Parker Lewis can't lose going for the Nats. Minus 135 for Baltimore, plus $1.15 for D.C. and an 8.5.
Another plus money with Parker can't lose. We always bet on him.
Always bet on Parker Lewis can't lose. That's for sure. Mariners in Boston against the Red Sox. Bryce Miller goes for Seattle tonight. The Red Sox are going to get Ballo back. He has not pitched this year. He's coming off the IL. Minus 125 for the Sox, plus 105 for Seattle, and a 9.5.
I'm going to take Seattle here at plus money, plus $1.05. The way they're hitting home runs and driving the ball, and Miller hasn't been bad. His ERA is decent. I'll take a shot with him at Fenway to beat the Red Sox.
Of course, no one's been hotter than the Mets. They have been on fire. But how about this? Dogs at home tonight. The Phillies are favorites with Christopher Sanchez on the mound, minus $1.35. The Mets have the great Griffin Canning going, hence why the number is where it is. Plus 115 for the Mets at home, 7.5 the total.
The Mets never lose. Give me the Mets at Citi Field again. They'll go 6 straight.
6 straight for the Mets. Cardinals in Atlanta against the Braves. Andre Palat going for the Redbirds tonight. This was supposed to be Strider's spot in the rotation. I believe the Braves have now made that switch. They had undecided listed for most of the day, Scotty. Now they have, yes, Blewett is going to go for them. Minus 142 for the Braves, plus 120 for the Cards, and an 8.5.
I got to go with our boy Blue, and I'm going to get him to 3 games under 500 when they were written off. Season over, finished, done. Now they'll be 3 under 500 and climbing back to, respectability.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're still mowing through these baseball games tonight around the show.
We certainly are. Chicago next. Of course, they're 5-17 this year. Not off to a good start, the White Sox. They are in Minnesota against the Twins tonight. Bailey Ober and Davis Martin will be the starters. Minus 250 for the Twins. I mean, they're 7-15. The White Sox plus 205, 8.5 the total.
I like Ober-Wan Kenobi minus the 1.5 on the run line with the Twins at target, even though they've been basically as bad as the White Sox.
They certainly have. Some more heavy lumber in Kansas City tonight. The Rockies are in town to see the Royals. Chris Bubich going against Ryan Feltner. Minus 265 for Kansas City. Plus 215 for Colorado. And an 8.5.
I mean, they're just atrocious, the Rockies. Give me the Royals at the K on the run line. Lay it at minus $1.25.
The Dodgers and the Cubs, of course, have already seen each other a lot this year. In Tokyo, they had 3 games in L.A., and now a 2-game series to finish off their year at Wrigley. Dustin May against Imanaga this evening. Dodgers minus $1.20. Even money for the Cubs and an 8.5.
I'm going to take a stab on the Cubs here at Wrigley. I think they're entertaining. They got bats. They score runs. I think this guy has pitched well, Imanaga. He's got a low 2 ERA. I'm going to take a shot with the Northsiders over May and the Dodgers at Wrigley. Why not?
Toronto in Houston still against the Astros. Ronel Blanco goes for Houston. How about the Bassett Hound tonight? What a start he's off to. 2-0 with a 0.77. He's got 31 Ks in 23 innings pitched. That's why the Blue Jays are minus $1.25 tonight. Plus 105 for the Stros and an 8.5.
I'll take the Bassett Hound and the Jays and the over in his Ks. The guy's striking out 10 every time he pitches.
The Pirates head west. They are in Anaheim to start a series with the Angels. Bailey Falter and Jose Soriano, minus 210 for the Angels, plus $1.70 for the Buccos, and an 8.5.
I'll Angel run line it at plus $1.05. The way Trout's hitting, the way the Pirates lose, give me Soriano and the Angels by more than a pair.
Rays, a rare road trip for them, of course, early in the season. They're playing most of their games in Tampa until the weather gets bad down there. Zach Littell and Brandon Pfaadt for the Snakes tonight. Minus 180 for Arizona, plus $1.50 for Tampa, and an 8.5.
I mean, Pfaadt's been great. Littell's been really rough to watch. I like the D-backs here, and I hate that price. I'd be willing to even look at the way Littell's been getting jacked. I'm going to go run line at plus 115.
Run line for the Diamondbacks. The Brewers and the Giants at Oracle in San Francisco again tonight. It'll be Jose Quintana and Jordan Hicks. Minus 145 for the Giants, plus $1.20 for Milwaukee, and a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go plus $1.20 with Quintana. He's been great. ERA under 1, and he's 2-0. He's pitched fantastic. And you're giving me that price at Oracle? Give me the Brew Crew on the streets of San Francisco, baby. What a great show that was back in the day.
And finally, we go to Sacramento for the Rangers and the A's. Patrick Corbin and Osvaldo Bido tonight. As of right now, minus 130 for the A's. Plus $1.10 for the Rangers, and a 10.5 at Sacramento tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening, to be honest with you. I like the under, and I like your boy Libido and the A's.
We gotta get the balls flying out at that place tonight at Sutter in Sacramento. Come on, Rooker, Seager, Garcia, everybody just load up the heavy home run hitters tonight for the A's and the Rangers. All right. How about some home runs for this evening as well? You can't forget those either. Tater time for us. A 6-pack on a Dinger Tuesday. Why not? I'm going to start with Kyle Schwarber. Why? Because I think Griffin Canning stinks. Plus 340 for the Schwarbomb tonight at Citi Field. Mike Trout against Bailey Falter.
Whoa.
Plus 400 for Trout. Tucker plus 450 against Dustin May at Wrigley. Andrew Vaughn, 2 homers in his career off of Ober. Let's make it 3 plus 480. Salvi Perez plus 500. And Jesus Sanchez, the big bomb tonight against Martinez at plus 630. Give some tons of bomb to that guy on the bench.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
turning the corner and heading for home here, Carver High, as we are starting to get stoked for SportsGrid's coverage of Thursday night's opening round of the NFL draft at Lambeau in Green Bay.
We certainly are, and we're almost there. It is Tuesday, and it took a little while. I don't think there's been as much, let's just say, buzz about this draft as maybe in years past. Maybe that's just because of the players at the top. I mean, who knows? It doesn't seem to have as much gas, but it's draft week, so all of the insiders and the know-it-alls are definitely trying to get all the gas out there. Lots of alleged stories. This team taking that, this team doing that. One thing is for sure. Tennessee has told Cam Ward that he's going to be the number one pick on Thursday night. Now, this is not like breaking news to anybody. We all assumed that was going to be the case, but they have made it official that he's going to be the top pick. I think the only thing I could say now is, Scotty, can they not take like the full 15 minutes to put the card in then? Like, can they just get up there and put the card in and move along with it since they already know they're taking him?
Yeah, it's weird to me because no one ever does it this way, to be honest with you, that they just don't announce ever. When is the last time you saw this happen, that this story that he already knows he's going number one and it's a done deal and they've already made their selection and it's public knowledge? You just don't see that in the NFL ever anymore. They hold out until they take all that money and all that time. And you know what I'm saying? They know what they're dealing with here, and they never show their cards, ever. All they do is lie to the media. I can't even believe that this story broke, to be honest with you. Even though we all know it was going to happen, they still don't let it happen.
In another one of the department of, let's try to hype somebody up before Thursday or try to throw some smoke out there before Thursday. Multiple NFL teams allegedly have Louisville quarterback Tyler Shuck graded as the number one quarterback in the draft, some even over Cam Ward, who's obviously going to go first to Tennessee. All I can say to you is get serious. This kid stinks. There's no way that people have Tyler Shuck as the top quarterback on their draft board. I just don't believe it. I think this is one of these stories that gets put out the week of the draft.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. It's like the stories we hear about all of these, trades that are going to happen that never happen. And it's as bad as the mock drafts that go on every day for 2 months about where everyone's going. And then none of them ever go where they say they're going. So I've always told you, this is about, live in the moment. Who are you drafting? Watch it live. That's how you find out what's happening. All these people making these predictions and trade guarantees and all this other nonsense is a gigantic, colossal waste of time. It really is. I've always said to you for all these years, I just can't wait till it's over and I know who my team got. Like, I don't care about anything else.
Well,
in fact, I got to be honest with you. I've always found it to be, boring. Just sitting around listening to these people talk about these players that nobody gives a rat's ass about for hours on end and just endlessly. I find it boring. I find it exciting to know who you get in the end. I do not find it fun getting there. I think it's like, watching cabooses go west back in the 1883. You know what I mean? Like, how long is it going to take to get to the West Coast? Oh my God. From beginning to end, it's torture. By Saturday, you want to jump off a bridge.
I think that in some years you have some guys and that are compelling, whether it's a bunch of quarterbacks or you have, maybe it's the teams that are involved and you have some kind of suspense about who's going to go where. I think you see stories like this today about, well, the Browns and the Giants are allegedly fielding calls for the second and third pick. Well, that's because we've all thought for weeks now that it's going to be Hunter and Carter. I mean, the Browns are taking Hunter, the Giants are taking Carter, and that's just too plain and simple for everybody. That doesn't bring excitement for the next 48 hours until they have this draft. So we've got to find a way to make people think that the Browns aren't going to take Hunter and the Giants aren't going to take Carter, because that's precisely what's going to happen. That's how it's going to go. So now we got to build stories to make people tune in and see that that's not what happens, or that is.
Yeah, you know, like I actually liked today when I asked Mike DeCourcy off air. I'm like, "Do you think who they going to take? What quarterback?" And he's like, "None of them." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. I mean, they have to take a quarterback, don't they? And he's like, "No, they don't, because they're not worth a first-round pick. Either one of them, Dart or Sanders." He said neither one is worth a first-round pick. What did you think of when he said that to me?
I don't know if I necessarily disagree with it. I'm not sure. I don't love any of these quarterbacks. I don't love them. I don't think that there's a must-have franchise-changing guy.
You think that one guy, Ward, is the only first-round quarterback taken?
Well, no. There's going to be guys taken in the first round. Would I personally take any of them? I'm not so sure. They're going to get picked. I don't believe this nonsense now. I saw people doing their mock drafts and saying that Sanders isn't even going to go in the first round now. I don't see that happening. He's going to get picked by somebody in the first round. Jackson Dart, I don't know. He could go as high as 9. He could maybe not. I think it's very tough to say about everybody else. I think the Steelers can honestly wait, and they can get one of these guys in the second round. I think that one of these guys will be around for them.
They don't have a second-round draft pick.
Well, then they have a problem. Then they're going to have to obviously jump for one in the 20-ish area. But Khan said today that they want 4 quarterbacks on their roster.
He guaranteed it. He said there will be 4 quarterbacks at camp.
And guaranteed. He has 2 right now. He's going to draft one. And either that 4th one's going to be Rodgers, who he's not waiting around for, or it'll be someone else they get off the street.
Honestly, can I just say it enough? Screw this guy, Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, just screw him 6 ways till Sunday. I am painful. So sick and tired of hearing about this guy for the last 20 years. I am like, this is as bad as Brett Favre, only worse. The only thing we don't have is, D pics and porno and sex stories to go with it. But we have every other boredom facet that you can imagine with this guy. Waiting for this guy to get off his horse is the most painful thing I think I've ever seen in sports in the last 5 years. I mean, he's not even worth it. And we sit here every day hanging on every thread for this guy. Screw this guy. I don't want him anywhere near the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if they get him, I won't change my opinion. I'll spend all year bashing his ass when I go to games and watch him lose. Because he's done winning in the NFL. Done. We already saw it.
The other hot rumor is that the Boise running back Ashton Genty is going to go up to like 5 now. Like he's going to be taken 5th. That the Jaguars are going to take him. Everybody wants.
Don't like running backs. Only Saquon
That's
Barkley
changed
matters.
now. The narrative's over. Now running backs can be taken as high as you want. And allegedly, the Raiders and the Jaguars
will have his head taken off in the NFL.
They're very excited for him. Very excited. The 49ers have a lot of contract extension situations going on. They've allegedly made progress with Brock Purdy. They're far apart with George Kittle. And they're not talking at all to Fred Warner. So like the 3 best players left on their team, that's where they stand. 3 of their best players. That's where they stand with those guys in terms of contract talks. Brock Purdy, big money, get ready.
That is incredible. It really is. They still haven't done a deal with Purdy. And I don't believe for 1 minute he's worth anywhere near $60 million a year. My ass. And I'll tell you another thing. George Kittle is their best player on the whole football team. And they won't give him a deal. And Fred Warner is another guy. But with the injuries, I can see why they're not ready to dive into a deal with him.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Always good to hook up with my friend Ken Sterling, who covers everything Indiana for us. The Hoosiers, the Colts, the Pacers, you name it. He does it. He does mornings in Bloomington on GCL 98.7. He's got a YouTube TV show that's very popular. And he's the man when it comes to my beloved Hoosier State and my beloved Hoosiers. But I don't want to really talk about them at this point other than maybe briefly. I know that we'll get to that. Let's start with Danny Dimes and Richardson and what they're going to be doing, the Colts here. What's their plan? Because, I got to tell you, Jones, to me, I saw him win that playoff game in Minnesota. I think he had terrible help around him in New York, but he can play football. And what I've seen of Richardson is that he can't. Now, I'm not being mean. I just think he's been awful for the Colts.
You know, Richardson's got such a high ceiling. He is such a great athlete that if he can just get the stuff between his ears working right, you've really got something. And so I think with Daniel Jones, they're really looking at a guy, not to motivate him, but they're looking at a guy who can be consistent. They want consistency out of that position. Richardson has not been consistent. He is able to do everything, but he doesn't do it all the time. And Shane Steichen today said they'll be graded upon consistency. And I think that that's bad news for Anthony Richardson and any hopes that he has of being the starter in 25.
Are you surprised that Ballard is still there?
Wow. Yes. They've gone to the playoffs twice in his 8 seasons. The drafts, other than 2018, haven't been great. And he just keeps... he stays close enough to make hope real for fans and, more importantly, to make hope real for Jim Irsay. But, wow, really mediocre and mediocre and mediocre again the last 4 years. And it's really hard to fathom that he's back to take another swing at this. But here he is.
So what are they planning to do that you know of this weekend?
I think that the Colts are going to take a tight end either at 14 if they can get Warren, or they're going to trade back and get somebody like Loveland, get somebody like Taylor, because they're going to take a tight end with the first pick that they have. That's going to be a must-do thing. And then they're going to take 2 defensive tackles. I think they're going to take a running back. They're going to take a quarterback. And then they've got to find somewhere in that mix to kind of hook up with a linebacker because EJ Speed is gone via free agency. And they've only got Zaire Franklin and then Jalen Carlisle, who had surgery in the offseason. So they're very thin at linebacker. I think they're going to wind up taking one of those. But job one on Thursday night is to take a tight end.
Do you think, yes or no, and then we'll move on to the Pacers, yes or no, will Warren be available to them at that point?
I don't think that he will. I think somebody's going to take him, whether it's the Cowboys, the Saints, the Jets. I have no idea, but he's the most pro-ready guy in the draft, maybe regardless of position. So that's a guy, that's a plug-and-play rookie who can go out and play really, really well, kind of be this dress version of Brock Bowers.
So let's talk about the Pacers tonight at the Fieldhouse. Big game, and they looked fantastic overall, I thought, in game one, winning, pulling away, getting it done, handling their business. Do they do the same thing tonight now that they're getting Dame time back, but he's not a guy that I freak out about. I think he can score. I don't think he plays defense. I think he talks a lot with his no rings. What do you think happens tonight with the Pacers? Do they go up 2 or do they have a problem? Because that number is so short at 4.
I think they win tonight, and I think they cover tonight. I'm not too worried about this game. I'm not too worried about the Bucks. They've got Giannis, and they've really got virtually nothing else. Lillard can shoot, but he's not a great defender. You look at the other 4 guys that started on Saturday afternoon, and between the other 4, other than Giannis, they scored a total of 14 points. Like that is, and Kyle Kuzma was utterly inert. They didn't defend. They didn't do anything offensively that really bothered me. I think if Halliburton and Mathurin had played worth a damn for the Pacers, that the Pacers would have won that game by 40. I just don't think that this Bucks team is very good other than Giannis and Lillard shooting the basketball. And so I think the Pacers roll tonight.
Last year, they took out the Knicks, and they went on a deep run. And I think some people thought that they were lucky. I actually think they're good, and I think they're relatively deep. I think they're kind of 2 at every position. I think they have a bench. I think they have a coach. I think they're capable of going on another run in these Eastern playoffs where everyone else has already handed it to the Celtics. I think and obviously they got their ass beat by them, but I think they're capable of going on another run. Do you?
I do, and that's what makes you the smartest guy in this business, because you understand that it's not about stars. And the Pacers don't have stars, but what they do have, they got about 9 or 10 guys who are really competent NBA playoff-level basketball players, and they can go out on any given night and beat any of these teams. And really, if you look at what happened last year in the playoffs, I think the Pacers played, despite the fact that they got run out of the playoffs by the Celtics, but they played the Celtics as tough as anybody else did in the playoffs. I think they can go on a run, and while they did get kissed, they played against a couple of teams with some injury issues. Giannis couldn't play, and then you had some injuries for the Knicks. But this is a really good, functional basketball team that doesn't rely on one guy to get it done. It relies on 5, and that's the way basketball is meant to be played.
I got about a minute, respectfully. Tell me what you think of he's getting a bunch of shooters in Bloomington. All guys that can shoot the rock, players that can fill it up from outside, that can shoot mid-range. He got another one today in this Drake kid. Every kid that he's gotten to go to IU to play basketball is a pure shooter. That's a good sign, because I thought they've had trash there the last few years.
They have. The last 8 years, they've been able to hit the rim. You know, this has not been a good shooting team. They haven't utilized the three-point shot a lot. I think that had to do with their ability to shoot the three. They just built it differently and thought by building it differently, they were going to be more competitive in the Big Ten. That didn't happen. DeVries is doing it in a completely different way, actually going out and getting guys who can shoot the basketball. Who would have thought that that could possibly be a successful strategy? I love the direction that DeVries is taking.
I hope so, Ken. I love you. Great job. Enjoy the Pacer game tonight. Good to see you.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High. Everybody loves leftovers.
Everybody does love leftovers. Couple of other football things here. Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy won't have any limitations in the offseason program for the Vikings after, of course, all the rehab from his knee surgeries. Missed all of last season, as you know. He had the surgery at the end of training camp. But he's good to go this year to be hopefully the Vikings starter. That's what Kevin O'Connell, of course, wants him to be. Did you see that A.J. Brown's car got jacked?
Yes.
Outside his house in Philadelphia. The police did find it and returned it to him. But you don't go messing with A.J. Brown's car there. I mean, he's the wide receiver of the Super Bowl champion Eagles.
They popped the kid that did it. He's done. He got pinched for car theft. And also, the videos of A.J. Brown that he put out on X to find his car and offer the guy a deal like, bring back the whip, no charges will be pressed, you'll be good to go, you'll have a nice day, go about your business. Don't bring back the whip. You're going to get popped. We already know who you are, and you're going to go to jail. And this moron chose the latter. He chose to be arrested and sent to jail and not get back the car. Nice job, idiot.
Not smart. Not the smart way to go. The NCAA proposes new rules to allow direct payments to players. I mean, just put them on the payroll at this point. Like, I mean, what are we doing? Just put them on the payroll, like all your teachers at the school. Make sure they get the check every 2 weeks. Like, what are we doing here? Direct payments. It's like it is. It's a job now. Don't call it school anymore. Student athletes. Forget it. It's just a job. Leeds United and Burnley going back to the Premier League. They both got promotion out of the championship. Of course, the third spot will be decided in the playoff. The third spot is always those next four teams that they go and play for it, and then they'll go to Wembley. So we'll see who the third is. But Leeds and Burnley back in the big
They'll
fight.
both have their ass beaten in the Premier League like no other.
It's very difficult to go up to the Premier League and stay up. It's hard to do. Obviously, teams do it, but it's not easy to consistently become one of those teams that's in there every single year. Online gambling on the rise among high school students. which is unfortunate to hear. Yeah, not good at all to see those numbers.
What is
all those
happening?
They're
in high school, and how are they getting these accounts and gambling? It's a bad scene. Real bad sign.
Really bad indeed. Cincinnati freshman football player Jeremiah Kelly passed away unexpectedly at his residence, Scotty. He was, I believe, offensive lineman for the team. Passed away at his residence. No details have been released about this story yet.
That's just horrible. Horrific story there to end leftovers. Ferrall finish, Tiger King, former star Joe Exotic, who people were fascinated with on television, get married in prison to an inmate doing time for immigration crimes. Your boy, Joe Exotic, the guy with all the tigers. Remember him? And he was like raising tigers and fighting with the woman and getting crazy. Wife of former Senator Gold Bar Bob Menendez. His wife found guilty of bribery charges. She's having a really bad day. She's going to jail with him, but not in the same jail. A 911 operator in Houston arrested after hanging up on more than 800 callers seeking help. She didn't feel like talking at the time and hung up on all of them. She got 10 days in jail and 18 months probation. They should have given her a fine of $5,000 for how much of a fat ass she was. I saw this chick getting hauled off by the Bobo, and she weighed 500 tons. She wouldn't help people calling 911, getting murdered and beaten in domestic violence, and she wouldn't help anyone. She didn't feel like helping anyone. What a loser tool. New Yorkers are now less scared of rats and roaches than any city in the country. We have mastered the art of dealing with rats. Mafia and I saw the Beatles crossing the street one night, except it was a family of rats, 3 a.m. at a crosswalk in Lower Manhattan. Unbelievable. Look out for the rats. I'll never forget the day the homeless guy was eating a rat. I saw that as well. What could be worse? GTD is next with the Kevin Walsh. Make sure you get my app. Search Ferrall. It's badass. Everyone loves it. And it's funny. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You're talking about going into next year, your fourth coach in 4 years. And if you think about it, they were 2-0 NBA Finals, and literally the whole organization just fell off.
I don't really understand what the plan is, right? Like, okay, you fire Budenholzer. What is the plan? Who do you think you're bringing in? What do you think is going to change? We all know the sort of dire financial situation they find themselves in as far as money spent.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
11 times now without a major, 14 times at the Masters. He finally has the green jacket. Rory McIlroy.
The best sporting event so far this year. It's better than the Super Bowl. It was better than the NCAA tournament. It had ups and downs. It had roller coaster rides. It had history, legacies. It had everything you could ever possibly want.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on